Paul Capaldo, the 6-1 prospect out of CFFC.
Going on, brother?
Uh, last seen at Fight of the Year for CFFC last year. And the only one on your record so
Yeah,
far.
man.
And a fight that neither one of you lost anything. If anything, I want to say your stock even went up with that unfortunate event. Since then, though, you've been MIA. How have
Yeah,
things been
man.
on your end?
So things have been good, man. I've been training hard, trying out some new gyms. Not at my old gyms, so just new gyms and just different training partners. And training's been good, man. I feel like I'm making some big progress and got a lot coming up this up and coming summer, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know I was let's go before the fight. You had the Contender Series invite.
Hmm.
You got to the Apex,
Yeah.
and then the good old 2020 thing hit you.
Yes. Yeah. The COVID. Yeah, man. So I got COVID probably like a week before I was about to fly out to Vegas. My bad. I'm trying to get myself situated here. About like a week before I was supposed to fly out, my one of my buddies actually fought on the Contender Series like the week um that I got COVID. So the whole experience kind of sucked because it was like he was gonna fight, then I was gonna fight, and then just watching him, and I was like, fuck, I can't, you know. So it was tough, man. And that was a fight that that kid ended up getting signed to the UFC, but he's not really very good. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way.
There's a handful of those that have made it to Contender Series and did get the contract there, and they may not last long. Um,
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
interesting.
yeah, he might last long, but I just don't think that he's very good. I think I'm a lot better than him, you know. He might last. He's got, you know, good boxing or whatever, but I freaking would have destroyed him, man. Why at least watching his Contender Series fight and then his UFC fight. But um just looking forward past that, man. Trying to get back on there too, you know.
Yeah, that's been the debate. Like I mentioned to you before we hit record, your name has started coming up a lot on the underground's weigh-in shows for the UFC. It's hosted by John
Hmm.
Morgan, who does commentary for CFFC. He's been
Yeah,
around
John's
your
the man.
career a good amount.
Yep.
Um, and it was actually even more fitting because the guy even kind of elaborated more this week and was like, I still go back and watch the spinning head kick. And I was like, and you know, and that was another one too that stood out to me because I was like, man, like, your trajectory was a rocket. You were going straight up. You had
Yeah.
the 2021 knockout of the year over
Mm.
Chris Vasil, and then he came back and pretty much the last event of the year pretty much got knocked out of the year last year.
Yeah,
On
against
a
my buddy,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And that was one too where like after your fight of the year candidate, the title shot ended up being Frank versus Jose Perez.
Hmm.
And that was a fun one for me because I'm buddies with Jose, and
Yeah.
I was a fan of Frankie. I saw him
Yep.
at he did a park show, and actually his corner pulled me in because you all have code names,
Yeah.
and all of Frankie's code names, or at least that fight, were all Irish based, and I'm pretty much full Irish, so it was a little chuckle to me as I'm hearing him because I'm only right next to his corner anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And going
So you
into the
know,
fight, it also sucked going to the fight because it was in Philly, and even though Frankie's New Jersey, 2300
uh,
is still home for both of you.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
so like yeah, it's crazy. It was probably crazy. I honestly I hate fighting at the 2300. I'm not gonna lie. I bro, it sucks there. It's not and not that like I don't, you know, well, no, I just don't like it. It's a pain in the ass to get to. Um just a pain in the ass to leave. AC is where it's at, man. That's like fights there are a lot better. The energy is there. It feels like a real show. Philly, it's like so it feels like an amateur show when I fight there. Less pressure, way less pressure. It's easy. But AC, man, it's a different experience.
yeah, Rob actually told me that. I don't know if it was the fight with you guys or the fight with Frankie and
Yeah.
Jose. Because I do all. the 2300 and all the park shows.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I just thought Atlantic City was so much farther. And
No,
talking with him,
yeah.
he was like, "It's literally like another half an hour. Why aren't you going?"
Yeah.
And
It's
he kind of said the same thing. Like that is the big show.
yeah, it is. It's a big difference. And yeah, it's way better. The energy's there, man. You can fight in front of like a couple thousand people. It's cool. And elaborating on before, man, John Morgan's seen my career kind of. I think he was there since the beginning, since my first fight, and he's kind of watched me grow and stuff. So he's a good guy, man. I appreciate him for always bringing me up.
Yeah, he always chimes in because John kind of knows I'm a CFFC loyalist.
Yeah.
And so like
You gotta be.
I always jokingly in the chat because it's every show there's at least one or two of you on the main card.
Yeah.
So like we'll usually joke about, we've seen these guys come either from the amateurs up or from the start of their pro career and see them grow to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was one too. Like, he kind of said the same thing I kind of said to you too. Like, hey, no, I haven't reached out to Paul. I haven't heard anything. I haven't, it's all
Yeah.
been, where is he? Where is he going? And what it comes down to is also, that first loss is always something.
Yeah. It definitely, yeah, it is something, and it sucks obviously, but I mean, so for me, part of the reason why I haven't fought in a little bit, I had an injury happen in the fight, right in the beginning of the fight, and I didn't really, I'm not gonna freaking post about it or do any of that shit, but right in the beginning of the fight, I had an injury in the first round, and I had to fight through it, which made it worse, and that's required basically a year off. Let's put it that way. I'm better now, which is good. I'm training and stuff, and I've been training, but it's kind of why I had to chill out for a little and heal up.
That makes sense too. And it also sucks too because you not only do you not want to post it, you can't post it because
It's
it comes
silly
across
too.
like, is that what you're saying? Is that an excuse? Is that why it went that way?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and yeah, exactly. Um, and you never use that as an excuse or whatever. I think I did pretty good for the extent of what I had. You know what I mean? If you knew what it was, it's to be able to. But besides that, it's not going to change the results. So why? You know what I mean?
yeah, because I mean, you even look at it. That fight, it was very fitting in the 2300 arena. If you know the 2300 arena history,
Yep,
um,
ECW.
there was enough blood on there that any ECW event would have enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I mean, and even as you said, if you were injured, they almost stopped that fight 2 or 3 times.
I know. It's
And
yeah. So like, it's crazy. So I remember like I was having momentum in like the third, and they stopped to. It was right like I landed like a head kick on him, and then they went to check his eye, and I'm like, come on, bro, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Because it's like when people do that, they give the other fighter an opportunity to collect themselves and whatever. So it's like it's crazy. A
yeah,
lot of blood. And
I was actually, we were sitting right outside of blue corner, so I can even give you a view that you didn't see.
mhm, yeah,
On top of that, they were ready to come in before the third round and then after the fourth round.
yeah.
Like the commission table came over to the main doctor that's always
The
there with the
second, the
book.
second, or the second and third, or the third and fourth, because we only did three.
That's right. You've got to
Yeah,
work me and you were co.
yeah,
So yeah, it was second. I guess between it, the start of second and probably in the middle of three when they actually did stop during
yes,
the before. I think it was before the just barely illegal grounded opponent kick.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you always
That's
timed
right.
that perfectly,
I know.
but um, but like I know they were very nervous, and I kind of told Jose that after the fight too. Like
Hmm.
they were really on top of it because they only see what they're seeing from outside the cage.
Yeah,
The ref wasn't really pinpointing it. It was a lot of the outside of the cage saying, "No, look at that eye. Look at where the cut was. Is it going into the eye? Is it going down? Where is it at?"
yeah, yeah, man. It was a bad cut.
It was. He also sent me a message after the fight and was like, "I'm sorry that we didn't get to meet up." I'm like, "Dude, like you both left it all in that cage." It's
Yeah.
actually even more impressive now knowing that you did have an injury in that fight.
Yeah, you just got to grind through that stuff. You know what I mean? Like even if you're feeling hurt, it's funny because you don't feel it till after, but you just push through and you get into a put yourself in a place. As long as you train hard, you work on your mental training, and just you're able to do stuff and push through adversity. So that's yeah, comes down to my training, which is what I mean. That's pushed me through training since I was a kid and stuff. So it was a fun time. It was fun. I
Yeah,
feel
so I
like
mean, so
oh no, I was gonna say it was fun. It was it was like a big scrap on the feet, but I feel like I didn't really get hit with any big shots or any thing. My was rolling with the punches and kind of moving, you know what I mean? So I it was fun. I fought a little bit out of style, but like, fun scrap like that. It's fun to show that I could sit down and throw some leather.
yeah, like I said, I've gone on record, I think, from the night on until the Fight Pass Awards were going at the end of last year. That was not only the best fight I've seen in person,
Hmm.
but probably top five. And of course, it's recency bias, but top five probably I've all time. And it was on a regional level. Like that could have
I
been a
appreciate
UFC
that.
card opener, and anyone would have loved it.
I wish
And
it was because we would have won some money.
that was one of the ones where I think Arias even said like that one probably should not have been here. It should have been
Yeah.
there. I know he did say that about the Frank Wells fight too, and that was good, but I don't think it was as. There was a reason why I said this was fight of the year and didn't push for
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
This
There's
one
yeah.
you both had a chance to win. Over there, Frankie was getting momentum, but
It was tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you said I noticed, and when I actually reached out the first time, I noticed training videos were starting to kind of be pushed a little more.
Hmm.
Then you threw one clip up that really stood out to me. It was the backflip changing uniform into a fight
Yeah.
kit. Is anything being talked about yet?
Yeah, well, so we're thinking about summertime. Not sure when. I'm thinking beginning of summer, like June.
Mhm.
I'm also trying to get back on the Contender Series too. That's something I've been trying to do, or like a short notice fight for the UFC. But we're thinking June. So
So
June and a couple
without
of
giving
yeah,
out
yeah.
any dates yet, middle of June would that work?
Yeah, mid beginning, yeah. So around there, that's where we're thinking. And if not, um, like summertime. But that's kind of where I'm prepping right now. And I'm thinking about heading out to, just like I said, I've been trying out different gyms to Vegas to train with Cody Garbrandt out there. He's fighting this week. I was talking to him the other day, and gonna go out there, train with him, pick his brain, and he's a good training partner to have. So just to get ready for the my fight camp and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually that's another fight that's really interesting.
Yeah, man.
Um, he just he's another fighter who recently he just can't seem to get it back where it needs to be. Um,
Yeah, I don't think me personally, I don't think that, because I'm friends with him and stuff. I don't think that he should
mhm.
have ever went 125. He doesn't need to. Just because you're not cutting that much weight, sometimes that's an advantage. And for him, it is an advantage. Um, I think Trevin Jones, though, we had my buddy Timur Valyav fought him, beat the crap out of him. And then he threw like a big lucky shot against him. But I think this is a good fight and a good matchup for Cody, because this guy's like very like sloppy,
Mhm. Yeah, I mean
and he's got 9 losses. That's a lot of losses.
that's one thing. I don't want to say sloppy in relation to Cody, but he lets he goes wild when he gets rocked.
So it's doing yeah, he does, yeah. Sorry about
And
that.
that's when it gets sloppy. Is when things go crazy. It goes. It's like a Michael Chandler does the same thing.
Oh, who are we talking about? Jones or Cody?
Cody yeah, Cody.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he has such good wrestling, and like when he does use his wrestling, um, he's very hard to train against. He's very hard to spar against. Man, he's tough. Um, and like That's how I feel about it. I feel like instead of like, if you get hit with the big shot, just use your wrestling because he's a great wrestler, man.
Yeah. So we talked about the 2022 fight of the year. We talked about early plans for 2023.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself? And I think I have an idea. Where do you see yourself this time next year? If you could write the script.
Yeah, definitely. I want to fight like 3 or 4 times or more times. I'm doing some grappling tournaments. I've been doing a bunch of grappling tournaments. Where do I see myself? I definitely with that UFC contract, man, and that's for real. Um, MMA is a funny sport. I feel like you could not do anything for a little. All I need is just one big moment, another highlight reel, and you're right back where you left off, basically. You know what I mean? So that's where I see myself, and definitely just training with the best. I'm really working on some different things and some big moves of working with different training partners, and I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. So better version of Paul this time next year in the UFC for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of where I figured it was going. Especially with the emphasis, on that. You had the invite. You deserve the invite still.
Of course, yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't go because you weren't on it because you didn't want to. You got on it because a test said you couldn't fight.
yeah, exactly. And like I was, sick. It was just bad timing. I honestly wish that they could have just rescheduled the fight. Like instead of we pushed for that, you know what I mean? Instead of, but that's hindsight's whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so let's say you get a fight in June that does line up for Contender Series. I know they are starting to already book Contender Series fights. So I mean, if you get say a June fight at a venue I won't state yet, and you get a nice win there in front of a large crowd,
yep, yep.
and you get the invite. I don't know when Contender Series is running this year. I think it's supposed to be overlapping
The
uh
Ultimate Fighter.
Ultimate Fighter, which is going to be fun. Trying
Yeah,
to
Ultimate
watch
Fighter
both.
is going on right now. Yeah,
Yeah, because I think they're filming now, and I think they're supposed to air in May.
yeah, it's fine. I know some
So
people on there.
yeah, a lot of the names on there are really good. I don't know what's been publicly shown, but there's a handful in there that are worth watching. This season outside of the coaches is amazing.
I think that the list for the names of the people were released, right? Like it was like they released the official.
Hasn't come official yet.
Oh, okay. Because I saw
It,
like a list of it on like line, so it's like it's
mhm.
known. I mean, I know someone in there.
Yeah, there's that's where I'm on the fence about. Like I've seen lists, I've seen videos. So like
Yeah,
you, if you know where to look, you know who's on the show.
exactly. Yeah. Yep,
And you
exactly.
also know like the ones who were alternates and weren't used and are back elsewhere.
Yeah, I think it's public knowledge. It has to be because like it was a big thing, but like yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, but my buddy Timur's on there. I don't know what team, but he's on there, which is cool.
I probably, if I pull the name and see a picture of him, I could probably tell you what team he's on. I think we have pretty much the entire crew
Oh,
listed
really?
already.
Would you be able to do? He's from Dagestan. That's why he might not be
Yeah,
on McGregor's team.
yeah, probably not. Here's
Yeah,
the thing, a
probably not.
little
If
bias
McGregor was
there.
smart, he would pick him. But
Yeah, I'll pull it after here and I'll do a rundown and see if I
yeah,
can
yeah,
get
send it to me
a
definitely.
confirmation. But yeah, outside of that, we the future looks bright. Like I said, you
Thanks,
didn't
man.
lose anything in the one loss. It really, it's been an example too where, and I'm sure you probably noticed this as a little bit as well. Your phone goes a lot busier when you win, and then not as busy when you get the loss.
Yeah,
And that's one thing like I've really started focusing on too, as I get to know more of you guys, is not only it helps to get that hey congratulations call, but it also needs to be like how are you
yep.
calls. That was
Oh
my main
yeah, of
thing too.
course.
Would try and get this too. Was like it was a year after. I figured you were kind of at least past the initial toll of it, and when I saw you training, I was like, all right, you're definitely back on the comeback now.
Yeah,
Um, but that's like looking at that, like I still see comments currently about Frank from December. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, from what, like with Frank with Jose's fight, or
the Avila or the Bad Apple fight in December.
oh yeah.
Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, but you also like, before I even left, I think I was asking his one coach, like, have you heard anything? Because like that was a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that I didn't expect that to go that way, to be honest with you, because um what he did, Vassal, he did a nice transition of, takedown to the knee. So it's see, because it's funny, I know how he fights, so you could see everyone fights with patterns or whatever. So it's like you could tell how certain people do fight. So he's starting to add a little bit more to his game, and he's starting to mix in his transitions a little better. And he caught Frank with that, and that's what happens in MMA. It's tough to get out of there without taking damage. I think if they fought again, I don't think that would happen. But yeah, Vassal's funny when he fights. He's very like weird with his boxing. He has very weird strikes.
Yeah, I just remember
But
that whole fight.
it's with me and him. But like, it's funny, bro. If you watch that fight, I don't think he hit me once. He hit Keek like in the face. And not comparing my fight to his with Frank's. I'm just saying, like, in general. He just has a weird style of striking.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I said the same thing going into that fight. I didn't think Frank was going to walk over him, but I thought it was a great rebound from the Jose fight into that.
Yeah,
The reason why I like these CFFC guys is they don't get easy fights.
yeah,
If you lose, you're going to go into a fight that's not a tune-up. It's a let's just get your head balanced. Let's see who this guy can advance if he beats you. But let's set it up, and
yep.
that's why like I'm eager to see where you end up. I'm assuming if it's not right in the contender series, it'll be with these guys.
Hmm.
That's why I liked when you said June because
Yeah.
I'm liking that card so far in June. And
Hell yeah.
you on there would also be a great addition. Um, but yeah, I think it's a good wrap up of where you are now. Um, you know, there wasn't really much to say about the fight of the year. It was to me unanimous. I fought
Yeah, of
UFC Fight
course.
Pass over it because they went to like a decision one, which not taken away from either one of those two guys who I can't name because that's how great that fight was.
Yeah.
But like they were asking why, and I was like, I can show that fight to anyone. I had that up there with like a Bonner Griffin. Like you want to see a fight that's going to make anyone a fan of MMA. That was a fight.
Yeah, I
You can go to
appreciate hearing that.
in a pool and be like, and you can go see this at your local bingo hall. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, people would be probably going crazy.
and but so I would definitely appreciate you the time. I know, like I said, I know you're not the most out and about interview person, so it was great to hop on a call with you. Anyone you want to
Hell yeah, man.
thank, shout out, and all that?
Just my friends and all the coaches that help me and stuff, you know what I mean? It's always appreciative, the support, and we're gonna be back in June. So, well, June, summertime, we'll be back though. And expect something big because we've been working on some stuff and just different techniques and stuff. So yeah, man.
Awesome, appreciate you. I'll get this up
Yeah,
soon.
no doubt, bro. Dude, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And maybe after like another fight or whatever, we'll do another one. Or before the fight, we could do one. Whenever, man.
Works for me. Awesome, thanks.